Welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is Sipsky, your host. Today I'll be showing how to predict your YouTube ranking based on the number of subscribers you have. This is actually ingenious way to predict in the future. Let's say you have 1,000 subscribers or a million subscribers. Where would you rank? Now, in order to do this kind of prediction, you need data sets, lots of information, real core data. I found a website that actually have this sets of data. It's called EducateTube.com. Okay, you can go to it, EducateTube.com, and they have, I don't know, this person or this group of people. They were able to kind of list all the top, I guess, 10,000 YouTubers, and based on the number of subscribers, they rank them from 1 to 10,000. So, for example, let me give you an illustration. This YouTuber, the M4 Sonic, ranked 5014. Now, I don't know when this is, maybe 2010, 2011, 2012, I'm not sure. It's irrelevant, okay? I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So let's say this person, M4 Sonic, ranked in 5014 with 51,519 subscribers. All right, and then let's go down further, and let's say if you rank, say, 8,991, your subscriber, the number of subscribers you have is 28,865. Okay, so what's use are these information? Well, what I thought was, okay, what if I was able to plot selectively? Like I mean, I could literally take thousands of these data and plot it in a graph, and then find a mathematical formula for that, and which I did, but I didn't do all of them because all I needed was to take a sample, random sample, like maybe about 100, maybe 50, and then plot them and see what happened. To my surprise, this is what I saw. Look at that. I took about, let me see, I'll show you the Excel data spreadsheet that I use. So I took the number, the ranking number, and the number of subscriber, and I put it X and Y on an X and Y data axis. So you can see here. So this is the X-axis, and this is the Y-axis. Now, sometime you might flip it around. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it should be, ranking should be actually, or the subscriber should be the independent variable, and the ranking is the dependent variable. In other words, this is the X value, this is the Y value. Okay, so for example, let's say if you have 26,016 subscriber, you will rank somewhere 9,999 based on the EducateTube.com data sets. Okay, and let's say if you ranked, you have an 5,932, you would rank 3,002. This is again based on the EducateTube.com data set. So I took random data like these coordinates, right? And it looked to me like about 27, 28 of them. Right? You can continue on and do it yourself and plot them. But generally what you end up getting, and which was surprising me, what I got is this. Do you see a curve here? As you can see here, this curve here. Now let me show you. If I bring up the, let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me show you the, okay. So I'm going to choose a line plot, okay, and you can see the line drawing a curve, right, all the way down. Okay, this reminds me of a curve that I learned in math. Okay, do you remember this function, the reciprocal function? 1 over x, and when you plot it, let me just pick a color here. You plot it, it looks something like this, right? Now, if you go back to this data sets when we did a plotting, right, of the curve of these data set, the graph, it looks very similar. Now, it's not going to be exact. It's most likely the function, the reciprocal function, is not 1 over x, but rather k, a constant over x. So let me go back again. Oops. So maybe this is a k, right, instead. Okay, k meaning a constant number which I haven't calculated yet, which may determine, for example, the curvature amplification of this graph. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's follow 1 over x curve, the reciprocal curve. All right. So what we want to do is let's go back to that data set. So you can see this curve here is very similar to 1 over x curve, or inverse curve, or the reciprocal curve. And that was simply by plotting these data set determined or gathered together by the EducateTube.com. Now, what conclusion or result I got out of this is that if you look carefully, now this is based on, like, if on the x-axis, you can see YouTube ranking. Well, I should have the other way around, right? YouTube ranking versus YouTube subscriber. Okay, so subscribers actually should be independent variable and dependent variable. Anyway, if we just flip this over, it'll be the same. So as you can see here, I plot the data set and it shows this inverse curve, right? You can see that the curve, the reciprocal curve, or you can call it the inverse curve, there is a pattern to this. For example, in here, you can see that, you know, you grow very slowly. As you reach, let's say you have, you know, somewhere between 10-20,000 subscriber, your ranking is somewhat slow. But once you reach somewhere in a 30,000 subscriber, okay, right about here and up, right, you can see that your rank goes up close to, say, 1 here, okay, rank number 1. This is 2,000, top 2,000. This is top 4,000, top 6,000. So as the more subscribers you have, right, the higher the ranking. Now, what it's saying here, this curve is saying that you need a lot of subscribers to be in the top, say, 100. Okay, this is the top 100, let's say. But another thing that I got out of this curve is that if you plot this curve and then let's say you extrapolate, okay, you can extrapolate this here and maybe down here as well, more of this part here, you can actually predict, for example, where you rank. So instead of looking at those data sets, you can actually predict your ranking. Let's say if you have 70,000 subscribers, where will you rank? Well, you most likely rank somewhere in the 4,000. So you rank 4,000, you have 70,000 subscribers. So very interesting. This kind of prediction help you kind of see, you know, how much subscribe you need in order to rank on YouTube, right? Another important thing is that you notice that because this is a exponential like curve, as we go all the way up here, you can see that as the more you know, the higher you rank, the more the subscribe you have exponentially increases, right? So you can look at it the other way. You would require more subscriber, right, in order to rank higher and higher, which is common sense. But now I have shown you mathematically what this relationship is between subscriber and YouTube ranking. So in order to be in the top 100, you would need a lot of YouTube subscriber. So most of us are somewhere in here. So it will take us a long period of time before we reach a critical mass. In other words, before we accelerate to this point here, right? So most of us are here, even myself. So you will not reach there for some time. In fact, if you use the model doubling every year, according to my calculation, now assuming that you produce video twice a week, right, a good one, my prediction is that it would, if you start with as a couple hundred subscriber, it would take you about 5-6 years before you reach this 30,000, 20 to 30,000 subscriber. All right, and then from then on, it will exponentially just jump. So in other words, once you reach this 20-30,000 subscriber, right, you most likely your chances of increasing to become the top, say, you know, 1,000 is most likely, because according to this curve, there seems to be a trend that as you reach these mass, like this ranking, your chance of getting into the rank here, top say 6,000, top 5,000, is highly likely. Whereas if you're most of us here, the chance of going to get a lot of subscribers is next to nil, right? Especially if you're down here. Okay, so something to look forward to. So be persistent with your YouTube videos. Make it good, and be patient. Like I said, according to this mathematical model, it would take you probably 5 years before you go. I'm assuming that you're like myself, ordinary, and we take us longer, but persistent. It will take us 5 years before we reach that 30,000 subscriber. So good luck with everything, and I'll talk to you soon.